Hello guys, welcome back. Today we're going to look at a flush with the wall piston door. So I was just experimenting with a hidden door, so I could make a hidden base. So my first iteration looked like this. And while this does work, it takes two blocks back. You need to go straight down, which is not what I wanted. I wanted to go straight through the wall. So this closes pretty quickly. It goes, it opens a little bit slower. This uses some slime blocks, some honey blocks, double piston extender right here. So this is a very simple design. The next one is a bit bigger and a bit, it's the filled version of the right one. Let's just take a look at it. So this opens a 4x2 door, which is exactly what I wanted because it's nice and tall. But this is one problem because right now, in order for this to work, first of all, there's redstone in the way, so we would need to go right, which I wouldn't really mind. But if you look at the way how this closes, these 4 blocks and these pistons come out to here, which means I would need to build up some immovable block right there, and then I would still have this opening right here, which is not what I wanted. So I had to go back to the drawing board. Let's watch it close. So that design didn't work and we need to go vertical, because otherwise there would be redstone in the way and it would be one big mess with immovable blocks. So the way I solved that, let's first see it. So this looks pretty good, because this goes back and up. There's only some immovable blocks in the ceiling, which are blast furnaces, and I think they go pretty well with the deep slate blocks. If you look at this, this goes right in hand with deep slate, so that's very nice. And the floor is still spruce. Let's close it up. So if we go to the back, you can see that the bottom two are actually pushed up by pistons, which makes it so that these two don't touch the ground. And that's a very good thing, because if these would touch the ground, so if they would go right to there, that means that the floor is also going up, and we didn't want that. So let me show you the individual components. If I hit this, and the blocks will retract. So this part goes back. Then we have the double piston extender, pull them up. And then the final thing that needs to happen is these 2 blocks need to go down. Then I can trigger this again. That puts it back. So we're going to do a tutorial for the build. First we're going to build the individual components. So there are 3 individual components. And then I will show you on how to hook them up. So for this build, in this state, you will need 10 sticky pistons, 4 slime blocks, 4 honey blocks, 2 observers, 10 repeaters, a lot of building blocks, and just get yourself a stack of redstone dust. Alright, so this is your floor. I'm going to build it up in the air, so you can follow along from the bottom, from the top. And for the walls, we're going to use glass right now, because you can see through it, so it's a little bit more clear. So the first thing you want to do is make your door itself. So we're going to go 5x2. So this is 4 and the 5th one. And this is the door that will open. Now I'm going to create a wall around it. And then we can see through, so we know what's going on behind it. So for the first circuit, we're going to go to the back. And we're going to place a block below it. 2 sticky pistons facing up with 1 air pocket. Then I want a block there. And a block there. Now we're going to place an observer going into it, right there, and another one on the other side. You can remove the blocks below it, and you can place 2 redstone dust behind it. That will trigger it. Just place this back. Then we need 1 repeater, a sticky piston facing up, another building block, and then a redstone dust. So like you can see, this should retract the bottom. So for the second circuit, we want slime blocks on one side. So 4 slime blocks from the top, leave the bottom one not connected, and some honey blocks. Then we want to go back 2 blocks and place sticky pistons on both sides. We can remove the wool. And we will place 2 blocks behind it. Now from the right side, place a block 1 block lower, repeater running into it, a sticky piston, block on top, and a redstone dust. Once again, this is the retraction system. For the last system, we're going to go 3 blocks up from these sticky pistons, and then we'll create a little plateau. You can remove these blocks. Now I'm going to place 2 sticky pistons, 2 sticky pistons to the bottom, sticky piston on the side, on that side, and then a observer pointing into the other sticky piston. Like that. With some redstone dust on top and another button, so we can demonstrate it. You can see that the pistons are going up with the contraption. That's okay, because it's also happening on this one. So it's very important that these pistons do go up, and I will explain that right now. So in the system that connects everything together, we have this repeater mess, which I should have colored, but it's the all repeaters next to each other, which will power this block. Which means after a certain delay, this line will fire, which will extend these pistons. But we're also doing the same thing right from the start. So our button is right behind this one, which will place a wall. That will fire it. We'll go into this block, into this repeater, and then also fire that. So it's very important that we fire this at the beginning, so that we retract the blocks, or when going down, that we fire those pistons when the contraption is down. If you would leave these blocks down here, then this would fire, and it would ruin everything, because now the contraction is up, but it will still fire, so it will push everything out, and there would be blocks right here. So the only thing for us to do is connect everything, and the way I'm going to do that right now is by making sure that every system is right next to each other, and I can explain it in a little bit easier way. So now we have all the individual components right next to each other, so it's very easy for us to make an input-output system. When building this yourself, you should probably compact it down a bit, like I did right here, because it makes it a lot smaller. But for the explanation, I'm going to do it like this. So this should still work. Let's first put it down. That won't work. So this is our door completed. So let's actually add a input line. So this is our input line, which will open a door. And now we need to connect this up to the complete system. So let's think about this. Those blocks need to go up or down, and this is something that can happen every time. So we can just input this line whenever. So let's connect this to the button. And now this should put it up or down. We can fire the second one every time, but we want to give it some delay. Because what will happen, we need to fire this line twice, because if it's down, we need to put it back before that triggers. And if it's up, then we need to trigger that only when it's down, so that takes a little bit of time. So we're going to set this repeater, which is just your input repeater. Make sure there is a repeater between this line and your input that is set to 4 ticks. So the last thing we need to do is add a system that will trigger this yellow line once before the white line and once after the white line is finished. So we can connect this up, and then we need to make a little bit of a turnaround. Then we need to connect this up as well through a repeater. So this will need 5 repeaters set to 4 ticks. 5. And 1 set to 3 ticks. So if I would press this button now, that should work. Let's test it out. It's pulling it back, it's going up, and then we can walk through. Let's push it again. It should go down, and it should go in. Looking at the timing, we could actually make this a 2 tick, I think. Let's try it again. Let's get this up. And let's put it down. So that is everything for this door. Once again, you should probably compact this outer system a bit, because it doesn't have to be this large. This is a very easy way to look at it, so you can see what's going on, but it isn't very practical. So thanks for watching. That was it for this video, and I hope you see you in the next one. Bye.